I'm standing here in front of my fridge on this Tuesday morning. I have a responsibility about the fridge, and Jan, my wife, has a responsibility about it in our household. Generally speaking, she has responsibility to put things in, and I have responsibility to take things out. By that I mean I'm the beneficiary of the things that are in the fridge. But of course, something about the fridge helps us think about what we're doing in lockdown, particularly in regard to this book, the Bible, and indeed spirituality generally, and feeding our faith. Let me explain what I mean. Week by week in our home, we go shopping. We try to do that as little as possible to comply with some of the social distancing laws, but we fill the fridge. Janet's responsibility is to make sure that we have enough food, and she's, of course, the main cook and provider in our household, as many of you know. Sooner or later, if she doesn't do this task, if we don't go shopping, this fridge will become emptier and emptier, and it will become impossible to take things out until we've put things in. Sometimes, spiritually, people imagine that they can just go on and on, expecting God's blessing, drawing on the resources of the Spirit and the Word, without putting anything in. Their fridge is becoming increasingly empty. And so I'm encouraging all of us during this time of lockdown to make sure we nourish and feed the spiritual part of our lives. Keep putting things in so that we've got the resources to cope with the lockdown, and when it ends, to move out of it with grace and courage and faith for the future. So how do we put things in this sort of spiritual fridge, this spiritual resource that we have? Well, of course, there's the Bible. We read that and feed on it. Perhaps you could listen to some online sermons from different people. There are so many to choose from now, not just from a church that you might be attending, but all over the evangelical world. Some names of good people and some good churches who are sharing Bible teaching resources. Maybe you could take time to listen to some of those in the course of a week, so that you're being fed by God's Word. And it's important not to stop praying and thinking about faith issues. If you're locked down with your wife or your husband or some family members, perhaps to talk together at various points about spiritual things, to make sure our focus doesn't get distracted. We become obsessed with lockdown news, and we're not making sure that the spiritual side of our life is nourished. The Bible speaks about itself in terms of food metaphors very often. Your word is like honey on my lips. The psalmist is full of exhortations to get into this word. The word of the Lord is a light to my feet and a lamp to my path. It's milk and meat. And we're being told constantly to nourish ourselves with the word of the Lord. And this means not just the Bible, of course, although that's central to our faith, but it means prayerful discussion with others. It'll mean watching not just Bible teaching online, but perhaps other teaching sessions about particular topics of one kind or another. If you go on the Clarion website, you'll see a series of DVDs in our resources section called God's Amazing Book. They're 15, 20 minutes each, these DVDs, and you'd really enjoy an opportunity to have a look at them during this time of lockdown. I hope you'd find that a really helpful resource. They're entertaining, filmed in Israel and in the United States, fast-moving, and for most of you, it'll be stuff you already know, but it's a refresher course. So I hope you'll find some of that material helpful. So during this constrained, difficult time in which all of us are not in the kind of rhythm of life we're used to, let me encourage you not just to stock your physical fridge and make sure when you go to it there's enough stuff to take out, but that your spiritual life is being regularly resourced so that you have enough nourishment to survive these days and out the other end, strong in faith, strong in your focus of Jesus Christ, knowing him and loving him as your time goes by, week by week and month by month.